So this is a presentation about massmailing. You need to associate the massmailing presentation with the MailChimp presentation. They are very linked. MailChimp presentation explaining you how to send a massive email, but it's very easy. MailChimp it's just an online service. You just create your account and you use it. You have nothing to do, nothing special to know. So it's extremely easy, but it's quite expensive. 0.2 cents, 2 cents US dollar per mail. It's very expensive, I consider. When mass mailing solution is another solution who is more technical. There is much more techniques to do. You have to install your own system. You have to choose your service, your SMTP servers, or your dedicated server. So you have more techniques to do, but at the end, it's much cheaper than MailChimp. So here I will explain you how to administrate, how to do everything on your own without passing by outsider provider who like MailChimp, who will do everything for you but who is much more expensive. So first we'll see the different mass mailing technologies. There's different technologies. So what technology can you choose? As I said, you can choose an online platform like MailChimp. This kind of platform that will manage everything. It will manage the preparation of the email and the delivering of the email. They can even manage the report, the statistics behind. Actually, they're not doing the statistics well, because they can only do the statistics if there is no security on the platform, on the platform who received the mail. But most of the platform are removing the image, so the statistics they will show you are wrong. But they can provide you. And the second main class is the second main category, or SMTP server. So you can use an SMTP server to send, or you can use the PHP mail technologies with your own dedicated server to send. In both cases, if you're using SMTP or PHP mail solution, you need a software to send, or in PHP at least you need a PHP script to send. But with an online platform, you have everything included. So when you're using SMTP or when you're using a PHP mail, it's more complex to install. You have more things to do, of course. And when you are using SMTP, if you are banished from your SMTP because your SMTP provider said that you have done too much spam or something like this, what can happen? It happen often. Here you just need to change the SMTP provider and you keep on. But if you're banished from your PHP mail server, you have to take a new server and reinstall a server, and so that's different advantage and problem. So let's go in detail about all of them. So first, MailChimp. MailChimp is very easy to use. Just have to create an account and manage everything online. The deliverability is very good. When you send an email from MailChimp, it's actually Gmail who's sending. MailChimp is owned by Gmail. It arrives everywhere. Even if you send a mail to Gmail, Gmail will accept it, which means it's normal that Gmail accepts his own email, but you should know that Gmail has the strongest spam filter. So if you naturally pass the Gmail spam filter, it means that you are really good, because Gmail is really strong in removing the spam. But the problem of MailChimp is very expensive. If you want to send, for example, 300,000 email, no, not 300,000 email, you can send more, but you have to only 300,000 subscribers, so different email address. This will be 8,000 RMB, 1,126 RMB per month, which is very expensive. That's the problem of MailChimp. Now let's see SMTP provider. There's plenty of SMTP providers. I would have select two of them, the two that I consider good and cheap. The SMTP provider should know that 70% of the case the mail will reach the target, which is quite good. 70% is very good. So here, for example, there is a SMTP2Go, who was a very good platform, who is still a very good platform, quite cheap. It's not my favorite, but it's two was here before, and he's very strong and for a long time. So SMTP2Go, the good point of it is it's quite cheap compared to the others. For 300,000 email to send, for example, it's much less than it's 4 times cheaper than MailChimp. It's 1,800 RMB per month. And with this, you can send 300,000. It's not super cheap, but it's already much cheaper, and it's one of the best price on earth about emailing. And now let's talk about Mandrill. Mandrill, who is I never found a platform as cheap as this. The cheapest SMTP platform. For 300,000 email to send, it's just 356 RMB, 57 US dollars. Really cheap. It's 6 to 7 times cheaper than SMTP2Go, the one I just presented before. Was quite cheap already, and he's more than 50 times cheaper than MailChimp. So he is really cheap compared to the others. If you just use the classic system of MailChimp, if you just buy some credit to send email, the deliverability will be good, but not as good as MailChimp. If you want to be as good as MailChimp, you need to take your own dedicated IP address. For this, you take the dedicated IP address for 29 US dollars per month, and here you will be able to send email, unlimited email, and you will have a very good deliverability. The second good point of Mandrill is that the 12,000 first email are free, completely free. You cannot send 12,000 immediately. You have at the beginning you can just send 250 per hours. But if you send 250 per hours, you will do the 12,000 in a few days. And the other good point of this is 12,000. It's a very big numbers. But if you create 2 accounts, it's 24,000. If you create 3 accounts, it's 36,000. You can create several accounts. If you don't want to pay, you can create several accounts and use like this. It's not what I will recommend you, but you can do it. It will work. But for this price, you can take directly 100,000 and use it. But it works if you create several accounts. You should know it. I was talking about PHP mail class before. So for PHP mail class, you should know that the deliverability is a bit like deliverability will depend on your IP address. It will be between 60 to 99%. It depends on the history of the server, the history of your IP address. It's normally is the cheapest way, because when you have your dedicated server, you can send email, and a dedicated server you can find a dedicated server for very cheap if you know where to get it. For example, you can find for 125 RMB per month, you can find some good server. The problem is you will need some good technical background to install your mail system, or at least you can to install the newsletter script or any script to manage your mail, or program your own mail script. You will need some background, technical background. But this, if you're not scared to put your finger in the code, it's not very complex. The second problem is you need to choose the good provider, because most of the provider will let you buy your dedicated server. Will not say, hey, you're spamming, I will banish you. Some will say, I will banish you. So here you know immediately, okay, you're banished, you have to change server. Some won't say anything, They will not banish you, they will not cut your server, but they will cut your port 25 if they judge that you are spamming too much. So you have to pay attention which provider you are choosing. You have to choose a cheap server, else if it's not cheap, it's better to take SMTP, an SMTP solution, and a provider who are known to not block you easily. And do a lot of spam, they will not block you immediately. So I will show you which one you can choose. So in China and United States, I guess everyone knows GoDaddy. GoDaddy is very famous to provide a strong dedicated server. I really don't recommend GoDaddy for two reasons. First, because it's not so cheap. It's quite similar, but not so cheap first. And here we can see that it's the cheapest. It's 600 RMB per month, so it's already 2 times cheaper than the SMTP server for 300,000 email. 2 times more expensive. I say cheaper, I think. 2 times more expensive, so it's already quite expensive. And they have the reputation to block you very easily if you do some spam. So even if the name GoDaddy is a big brand and everyone knows it, do not go on GoDaddy. At least not for spam, not for sending a lot of email. OVH is a very good dedicated server solution. Very powerful, very cheap. I propose a very cheap server. But when you're using OVH, if you do emailing with OVH, you're very happy because it works perfectly. The email arrives, there is no problem. But they have the policy to stop your port 25. They don't send you any email, they don't tell you anything, they just stop the port 25, so you cannot send any email anymore, but you think you're sending, and actually you're not sending because it has been blocked. When you receive 100 spam report in 24 hours. So 100 spam reports, and consider it's 20,000 emails sent, you will have reached 100 spam reports, 20 to 30,000. After you will be immediately blocked, and you don't even know that you're blocked. That's the worst. So you think it's okay, you can keep on. You are happy because you have a very cheap system and it seems to work, but it doesn't work anymore. So OVH, even if it's a very strong, if you want to have your own dedicated server for a website or for normal activities, the OVH is really good. They have very strong support. They are probably the best in the server management. But as you can see, they stop you immediately and when you have spam reports. So they are very good, but don't take them for mass emailing. They are not a good solution. Online.net. These are another strong provider, less famous than OVH or GoDaddy, but still quite famous in France, and it's still in English. They provide dedicated server for 10 euros, which is less than 100 RMB. With the tax, it's exactly 100 RMB, 101 if I remember. They provide good dedicated server, good administration, and they don't really they don't pay attention to the emailing you're sending. If you send a mass mailing, they will not banish you very easily. So those, if you don't want to spend a lot of money, if you want to have a dedicated server who work well and who can administrate your website, you can use one line. They are quite good. They are a bit less for 100 RMB. They are a bit less powerful than OVH, but they are still very powerful, and at least they don't really matter about the email you're sending. So if you want a dedicated server for hosting your website and for And for mass mailing in foreign countries, online.net is a good solution, the one I would recommend. So yes, as I say, online.net has a dedicated server for 101 RMB per month, which is very cheap, very cheap, and they don't block you easily when you are sending a lot of email, which is really not the case on GoDaddy. On GoDaddy it's even worse. They push you out. They don't just cut your port 25. They close your dedicated server and they kick you out with a big kick on the ass. So they're a bit strong. You lose everything. And at the same time, OVH are less aggressive than GoDaddy. They will not kick you out with a big kick on the ass. They will just block your port 25, so you will still keep your website, but you will not be able to send email anymore. So don't, if you want to send email, don't use GoDaddy, don't use OVH. Use more online.net. On the same time, I don't recommend you to use your own dedicated server where you host your domain name to send your email. It would work, but it's no one talking about few hundred RMB. You'd better take another one for your hosting and one for your mailing. Because if anything happen, if the policy change or decide to close everything, you will lose your website, which is a very bad thing. So I recommend you to take two different dedicated server, or two different server, one for the mail, one for the hosting. And even I recommend actually to take one server for hosting and one SMTP server for mailing. SMTP with mail it's really a really good solution. Let's consider that you have selected the SMTP, you have chosen the SMTP solution, the Mandrill at $17 per 100,000 email, which is, I think, the best solution actually. For a long time I was using dedicated server, but Mandrill is really cheap, so I think you should use the Mandrill because they are professional in sending email, and if there is any problem, you can just switch to anyone else, create a new account and start again. But when you are using your own dedicated server, if you have a problem, you have to reinstall everything. It's much more complex and it's even more expensive, practically the more expensive. So let's consider that you're using Mandrill. How to send now? You are maybe thinking of classic mail solution like Outlook Express, Windows Mail, Thunderbird. If you don't know Thunderbird, it's a very good tool. It's the Outlook and the Open Office Outlook. It's nothing. It's not really related or other application like Apple Mail. All these applications are very powerful management email system, content mail system, but they are not mass mailing system. You cannot use Thunderbird or Outlook to send a mass email to everyone where you change your the name. Hello Nicolas, are you interested by this product? And you can go to the page with the trackers and everything. You cannot do this with Outlook. You cannot do this with Thunderbird. It's not done for this. So you need some other solution than this kind of soft. So which software you can use? You can use GroupMail or MaxProd from Max Bulk Mailer. These two solutions are good. The advantage, or you can use them directly from your computer. You just need to install them and you use it like a Thunderbird or Outlook. So very simple to use, and you don't need any skills, specific skills to use it. I don't especially recommend you this one. I will recommend you a specific autoresponder because you can manage all of them better. But this one you can install it in 2 minutes. You can install it in 2 minutes. You can launch your emails. Already can show something very powerful just for this. So if you want to do something a bit better than just installing a software and sending one email, and next week you send another email with you create a new email, you send it, and next week you prepare a new email and you send it, and the week after you prepare a new email and you send it. It will work, but there is other strategy, autoresponder strategy. I want to present you this. So system who will manage automatically on himself all the mail. So an autoresponder is a software who will plan for you all sequences of mail to send automatically. So you prepare today everything, and for the entire year you can send the email and you can manage all the mailing campaign for the entire year. So you have prepared today in one day, and you don't need to go back on your mailing campaign. It will work on his own naturally. It will strongly optimize your email marketing strategy by improving the coming back of prospect and customers. It will automatically manage the bounce rate. It will considerably simplify your mailing task every day. So every day it will considerably simplified, because you don't need to go back on it. It will work on his own. Just customize it one day, and after it will turn forever on his own. So no need to change anything after, to come back on it. So what are the benefits? The benefits of an autoresponder is 76% of users of autoresponder say that it has saved them at least 5 hours per week of emailing task, and 60% of them said that after 6 months the client has increased of 50 to 250%. It will put marketing strategy in autopilot. All your strategy will be fully autopilot automatically, and you just manage it one time, and after it control everything, all your tasks. You will send specific email each time that someone is doing a specific action. It will control all your mailing strategy. So which autoresponder to choose? If you want to choose an autoresponder online already integrate and online application, there is 3 that I will present you. MailChimp. You already show you MailChimp, but he's also doing autoresponder. MailChimp is powerful, but it's quite expensive. It's for if you have 3,000 email to send, 3,000 subscriber, 300,000, not 3,000, 300,000 email to send. It's 8,100 RMB per month. So it's very powerful, but it's quite expensive. There is Aweber, who is very similar to MailChimp, who is also very expensive, more expensive than MailChimp, but she's the second one most famous. It's 9,376 RMB per month for 300,000 email to send. There is another one, cheaper, ARPReach, and ARPReach is much cheaper. It's 1,200 RMB. It's a software that you download and you put on your server. And why is it much cheaper? It's because he's managing the email, the autoresponder, but he's not the application who send the email. You need an SMTP platform with it, so you plug to ARPReach Mandrill, or you can use the PHP mail solution of your dedicated server with it. It will work too. And like this, you will be able to manage all your sequence of email for just 1,200 RMB one time. It's not every month, so it's quite cheap, and it's a very powerful solution. Yes, it's very powerful. If you have some money, you want to invest in a good solution, you can take this one. ARPReach with the SMTP solution Mandrill. These two solutions are very powerful. If you don't take Mandrill and you have a dedicated server, you can also use it. But pay attention to your dedicated provider, because dedicated server provider, because he can push you out if he considers that you are doing too much spam. So this solution or a great solution, very powerful solution, very professional solution, very good solution. Yes, they are very good solution. If you have money, you can invest in one of these. I will recommend it. If you don't know anything about techniques, you don't want to do anything about techniques, and you're ready to put money, take MailChimp. It's very good. If you're ready to put money, but you prefer to manage it on your own everything, I recommend you to take your Outreach, because it's much cheaper. It's much cheaper, and it's just one time. And after, you just pay for the email with for the sending email with Mandrill. So Outreach is very good. So that's the what I will recommend you if you are ready to invest a bit money. But let's consider that you don't want to invest money. I will show you another solution who is very powerful too, an open source solution, which is Infinity Responder. So Infinity Responder is not as pretty. The solution, the back office is not as pretty as them. It's as efficient. It's very efficient too, but it's a bit more technical. You need to install and you need to do everything. It's a bit more technical, but it works perfectly too. So you can take Infinity Responder. It's the one I will recommend you if you want a free solution. Take Infinity Responder. Don't download it from infinityresponder.org, because I changed a lot inside the code source. You will take it from cross-border. At least you will have the version, my version, where I have integrated the SMTP solution. Else, in Infinity there is no Infinity Responder. There is no system to check the bad email that I have integrated on it. So what are the advantages of Infinity? Infinity Responder manage perfectly the sequence of email. It can manage the bounce rates. So if you have a big mail list, and on the big mail list a lot of them doesn't exist anymore, he will clean it. He will clean the list. He can manage unlimited mail. Can send unlimited mail. It's not a problem. You can work on EasyPHP if you want, if you don't want to have your own server. But on EasyPHP it will only work if you have an SMTP server. EasyPHP, it's you put a server on your Windows, on your local computer, and it's ASHOP software, or it's an ASHOP open source software, and ASHOP is here since 2002. So now it's a software who is 12 years old. It's a software who is old, who is supposed to be quite good, who doesn't have a bug anymore. It's completely free. It's a completely free application. The problem of Infinity is it is not a WYSIWYG. It's not what you see is what you get on the administration of the mail. So the HTML, when you want to add HTML, you have to do your HTML on your own on Composer, for example, and to integrate it. That's the problem of Infinity. But actually, you will not see a lot of mail system, because each time that you're using mail, the email system is killing a lot of HTML, the basic HTML. You have to rewrite in very, very basic HTML. So it's not a WYSIWYG. If you want to have something with WYSIWYG, take Outreach. He will do it for you. Or take MailChimp, but it's very expensive. But Infinity, you type your HTML, your basic HTML on Composer, and you paste it on it, and it will work. Don't worry. So about Infinity Responder, should know that I will not teach you right now in the next slide how to install it and how to use it. I will explain you at the bottom of the PowerPoint, but you can already download Infinity here on crossborder.com /infinity.zip. Now next slide I will try to explain you how to do mass mailing and avoid spam filters. There is some technique to avoid spam filters, so I will explain you this, and after I will go back to Infinity and explain you how to install it. So let's talk about mass mailing and the different strategy around mass mailing. So the basic knowledge about what to do in mass mailing, the first thing that the marketer will know in a marketing school is to do a segmentation. You have to do a segmentation and split your strategy in three different categories. First, mailing strategy for your prospect. You want them to become your clients. A mailing strategy for your clients, and a mailing strategy for your provider and partners. Don't mix all together, it will be a big mess. The partners will not understand what you're talking about. So you have to really split them and do some segmentation for each category. The second part is what all normal marketer will tell you, what you learn at school. Actually, it's not really useful now, but if you are a clean marketer and you didn't collect anything from the yellow page, you didn't harvest everything on internet, you don't have your big database of clients, and you're a fresh new company, you want to have your clean database of email, you have to collect the email address on each visit. Someone go on your website from AdWords or anything, you need to collect his email address. How to do? Pop-ups? No. Pop-ups, maybe you know what is a pop-up. Pop-up was a technology very used during until 2004, I would say. It's the advertisement who appear on top of you. You can think maybe some of you know Pop Under. Pop Under is another technology who go behind the browser, but actually this technology work on some browser, but now most of the browser like Mozilla or Chrome doesn't show it anymore behind the browser but on next page, so it's very ugly, people hate it. So pop-up, it's not a technology that you should use now. If you hear some commercial strategy people, marketing people say use pop-up, no, this is a very old technology, and nowadays all the browser will put it on your on the next page automatically, but not in front or not behind. So when someone will arrive on your website, he will not see your website, he will see the pop-up. Really bad thing. You will lose the guy, because the new browser are managing the pop-up differently. Do not use pop-up. What you can do is you can offer a gift, just like an ebook or training, a video. Yes, offering a training video. You can propose them to be registered in private club. You can offer some free quotes, some free diagnosis if you have any problem. You feel this problem, what exactly, and free diagnosis. But try to offer products free where you can collect the email address. That's actually really for a very clean marketing solution. But if you have already harvested millions of database from the yellow page or from the WHOIS, actually it's not really useful because you already have millions. But else, yes, it's useful. One very powerful solution on mass mailing is the behavior segmentation, action reaction. If someone that you already know, you have already tracking down, you know that you track his IP address, so you know who he is. If someone identified, go on your website and consult several times the same item or the same category, and you know that this guy is interested by this kind of product. So when you know that he's interested by this kind of product, you can automatically send him an email a few days after, 5 days after, to do some promotion about this specific product. So with an autoresponder like Infinity, you can prepare a sequence of emails. Very important to because when you contact people, if you just send one mail, don't expect to have client with one email. A lot of people buy a database of emails and send one batch of email and don't have clients, and are very upset. So I couldn't find client. Yes, one email is just a presentation. Hello, but so they will not follow you after one email. They will not immediately buy. But if you do a sequence, you present all your advantage and the promotion and everything. At the end, they will know you well and they will buy your product. So, for example, you can send an email, a first email with a presentation, after a second email with a demonstration, a video of demonstration, some promotion, the end of the promotion in 2 days, the competitive advantage of your product, a case of study from customers. You can send a grid of implementation. You can send whatever you want. But you can prepare a sequence of email to contact them automatically. Don't forget that between each of them you can give phone call. So always very important to give phone call if you see that someone is interesting from triggers. Phone call is also extremely useful. So how to avoid spam filters? Before explaining you how to avoid spam filters, you need to understand what is a spam filter. A spam filter is when you send an email to someone and the email doesn't reach his email address, or can go to the spam box. Even doesn't reach at all. Very often doesn't reach at all. It's often because the server who's sending the email is blacklisted in some spam filters directories. So blacklist on some blacklist website, blacklisted website. So first, to check if your server is not blacklisted, the first thing you know when you want to send an email with a server, for example, you need to check if the server is not blacklisted. So you check. You can go on mxtoolbox.com/blacklist.aspx, and here you check with your domain name if you're using a dedicated server, or even a mutualized server actually. Here you will know the list of all the servers, and it will tell you if you are or not blacklisted. If you are blacklisted somewhere, contact the provider who said that your website has been blacklisted, and see why, and try to fix the problem. If you explain him that you just took the server, it's a new server, and you have the bill proving it, usually they will remove you from the blacklist. It's normal. But the thing on it is, with this kind of tool, you know where you are not blacklisted and you know where you are blacklisted, but you also know just the number and the name of the server where you can be blacklisted. The server name, you have them here, because they're telling you this server you're blacklisted, this one you're not blacklisted. So you know which server you should not contact. It's very important. We'll talk about it later. Here, for example, on Mandrill, to avoid spam filters, I recommend you to take a new fresh dedicated IP address, because like this, you are not in the middle of all the others, because there is thousands of people who are using Mandrill all the time to send a lot of crappy things, and if you are in the middle of them, you have the bad reputation of the others too. Mandrill is managing very well the system to lower down the risk of spam spam filters, but still with the numbers of spam of mail sent, at the end it's better to take for $29 to $30. It's better to take a fresh IP address, very clean, so you can send some email and you don't have any bad history. So bad profile. Like this, just $30. It's not a lot of money. You have a fresh IP address. It's very important. When you're sending mass mailing, do not use an email like at Gmail or at QQ or at Yahoo or at anything. Use your own domain name at yourdomainname.com. This is very important. Why? It's because when you're sending an email with a platform like Mailchimp, like Mandrill or like your dedicated server, if you say my email address is lorioalbon@gmail.com, which is my private email. If you say this, the guy who will receive the mail will say, so it's Gmail who sent this. He will check, Gmail, did you send this? Gmail will say, no, I didn't. Boom, spam filters. And so you should not use this. Actually, it's not exactly like this. It will work. He will ask to the SPF. SPF, it's what you put in the DNS to say this server is allowed to do it and this one is not allowed. But when it's Gmail, you cannot change the Gmail DNS, so you cannot say this one is allowed. So it's a bit like if Gmail was saying, no, I didn't send it, so the email will immediately go in the spam filters. So when you're doing some mass mailing, don't use a Gmail account, don't use a QQ account, don't use a Yahoo account. Use something with your own domain name. Very important. So when you're sending an email from your dedicated server or from an SPF or from anywhere with at yourOwnDomainName.com, you have to manage your SPF in your DNS, and for this it could be a bit complex, but just like PHP, just like HTML, just like anything with technical, there is always generators. So you can type SPF generator on Google, and you will have a lot of platforms just like SPF wizard.net here. He will help you to graphically do everything, generate the code, and you just paste it on your DNS. Nothing special, very simple. Now let's see in detail everything about the email that you want to contact. For example, if you have an email in the full database that you have, if you have an email like Alessandra at tatatatata.com, tatatatata.com doesn't exist. The email cannot exist. It will be a hard bounce. We call it hard bounce because the server doesn't reply, it doesn't exist. So no need to contact it. It's you will just be considered faster as a spammer, and it's very bad for spam filters when you're sending a lot of bounce mail. So remove it immediately. You should also check the email if there is some bad keyword like spam trap. Spam trap, do not contact it. It's a spam trap. Spam trap is a fake email generated to be put everywhere on the internet, so people scan it, collect it, and contact it. But no human will never contact a spam trap. Only machine, because they don't pay attention, contact a spam trap. And when they contact a spam trap, automatically, the spam trap puts you in the blacklist. So if you send an email to spam trap, you're dead. So do not contact spam trap at something.com. Avoid no mail at something.com. No one will read it, and maybe a spam trap. Spam at something.com, abuse at something.com, policy, no reply, all this kind of thing that a human will never contact. Don't contact. So you have to remove them, else you will be blacklisted quite fast. Another thing that you should check is the email address, like at yahoo.com at yahoo.com, or even rty at yahoo.com. If there is less than 4 different characters, you should consider it's a wrong email address. It's someone or register somewhere where they ask you, you want to download the video, please give me your email address, and I will give you the video. And the guy has has typed something with his keyboard, but he didn't type anything real. So if you see this kind of email, remove them. It's not a real email. So don't contact this. So I said before that you can check the server name, the blacklisted server with MX Toolbox, and the fact that you can check if your website is blacklisted or not on the list, it's also giving you the list of the server who are here to blacklist. So if you know the list of the 40 server who are here to blacklist bad people, don't contact this server. You know that they're here to kill spammers. Don't contact this server. Why didn't you contact them? So each time that you're sending an email, if it's Nicholas at anything.com, and anything.com is targeting one of these server, do not contact him. You know that this guy is dedicated to kill spammers. Avoid to contact him. So don't send any email who is redirected to a spam trap server. Very funny, but it's nice what you're saying, but how do you want to technically how to control for each of the emails, if the email exists, or if the MX exists, if there is dangerous keyword, or if it's an unrealistic name, or even if the owner of the domain also own a spam trap server. How to? It's very nice, but if I have 1 million email, I cannot do it with just my keyboard. I need something a bit more powerful. True, you cannot check in a big list of email if the email is true or not, if it's realistic or not, without sending an email. I mean, you cannot check like this. But you can download a function that we've developed on www.crossbordertraining.com/function-check-email.html. Here you will have a full PHP script who will automatically check all your email. So you can just check them with this function. And here, for example, Toto@crossborder.com, he will say that this one doesn't exist because Toto doesn't look like normal email. Alex at hdqghqgs.com could be wrong because the domain name doesn't exist. Nicolas Dupont at yahoo.com, he will say yes, probably a true email. Albon at crossborder training, yes, probably a true email. It can be a wrong email, but when he checks like this, at least it's not a hard bounce. It's not a hard bounce, and it's probably true. It's look normal. Abuse at GoDaddy, it's a true email, but it's dangerous email, so it will say no, don't contact. Spam trap at GoDaddy, it will say no, do not contact, dangerous. Contact at barracuda-central.org, it looked like okay, but actually behind it's a spam trap. He will automatically say, ooh, this one is a spam trap, do not contact. So he will say no. Nicolas at simrules.org, he will say do not contact, behind it's a spam trap. And Philip at healthy.com, yes, it's a real one, no problem, so you can contact him. This script you just need to download. If you're not using Infinity, I mean, you need to download it and check all your email. But if you're using Infinity, the Infinity from Cross-Border, it's already integrated inside, so you don't need to reintegrate it. It's already inside. Another thing very important, it's not related to spam filters, but when you're contacting someone, when you want to contact someone, check the first name that you have collected, because the first name, there's a high chance that the first name doesn't match with the real first name. For example, here on Zuafa, on the company Zuafa on Alibaba, the guy who registered was Chenli Huan. That's the name that we have in database, because the contact name on Alibaba from where we collect the information was Chenli Huan, so it's Chenli normally. But there is no email address on Alibaba, but there is domain name. There is zhuangfagems.com.cn and hiphofjewelry.taobao.com. So the system will scan it. Actually, we will not scan Taobao because it's Taobao, but he will scan the first one. And on it, if he found another email address, he will put it. But maybe the email address doesn't match with the person. So here on the zhuafangem.com.cn, we have the email address who is sylvia@zhuafangem.com.cn, which is Sylvia. It's clearly not the same person. Before it was Shenli and now it's Sylvia. So the probability that it's wrong is very high. Normally, you should not contact Sylvia at Zhuangfangem with his name hello Shenli. So here you should pay attention to this kind of email. Yes, if you send an email to Sylvia at Zhuangfangem with the name hello Shenli, Sylvia will probably be quite pissed. So how to check the first name on 100,000 or millions of email? It's not easy, but if you have a script, the PHP script with a database of first name, the PHP script can do it in 1 second. He will check your millions of your email address. So this script will check this script. You can copy from here, but don't worry. In 2 slides, I will give you the URL to download it directly. So don't copy it from here. You will download it online. So here, the system will automatically check on the database on table called first name fname, and will take all the classic, the generic first name, and it will check if the first name corresponds to a first name in the name, and if it's not in front of the email address. If it's in front, probably it's wrong. So here, this script will do it for you. You can just download it. So this script, as I say, work with the dictionary. So dictionary of first name. So you will need to download the dictionary of first name of classic European first name. You will have it next slide, and execute the script. We'll check them for you. So here on crossbordertraining.com/fname.sql, you will have the database table of the first name. There is more than 3,000 classic first name. You just need to download it, upload it on your server with phpMyAdmin, and you can you can download the first name checker.php.html. Here is the script that you just saw before. So you change the database inside. Normally, if you have used the harvest table that I show you long time ago how to harvest, this is exactly adapted to this table, so it will not work directly. If you have used another table, if you have updated it, you will maybe have to change some stuff on it, but normally it fits perfectly with the table harvester. So it's okay. So even if we have already checked if the email address is probably true or probably not true, it's just a question of probability. All those that they have removed would have, there was very, very, very high chance that they were wrong, but those that the system has accepted can still be wrong. For example, if you have an email Alexandra Lachaussee something at yahoo.fr, this email address looks like a real email address, but it can be wrong. So if you contact this email, Yahoo platform will automatically send you a message say, this email is wrong, don't contact it again. So your system needs to be able to remove them, to not contact them again. With Infinity, there is a system who can do it for you. So we'll show you after how to use it, but Infinity do it very well. And actually, even if you're not using Infinity but you're using the Mandrill as a SMTP platform, Mandrill will also do it for you. But it's still better to know which email are wrong, so you don't need to contact them again, and you're not wasting your credit, because if you're contacting people who doesn't exist, even if Mandrill is cleaning the database for you, when you're sending the email, it will still take some credit on Mandrill. So you should clean it before sending, even if Mandrill will do it for you. And if you're not using Mandrill but you're using your PHP mailer system, you need to clean it on yourself, because your PHP system will not do it for you. One little detail, who is actually not a real detail, it's important when you're sending an email, it's important for the spam filters, is when you're sending an email, always give a name to an email. For example, if you're contacting Nicolas Dupont at yahoo.com, don't send an email to Nicolas Dupont. Send an email to Nicolas tag Nicolas Dupont at yahoo.com. So here you are attributing the name Nicolas to this email. So when the mailbox will receive the mail, he will see there is a name attributed to the email. It's an important criteria to estimate if an email is a spam or if it's not, because usually spammers are collecting email, bulking email massively, and not spammers are using the mailbox. It's a friend. He give an attributes to this guy and he put the name. I met him in somewhere or something, and automatically your mailbox will send this information. So this is a criteria that spam filters will check. If you don't know the email, the name of the guy, put any attributes. For example, if you have a contact at a domain name and you don't know don't know anything about the company behind, which is a bad thing. Normally you should have tried to have the name of the guy, but if you don't have it, then put the name of the company, or put anything, put a friend in and put the city, or put a friend from Alibaba, anything related from far or not, as related as possible to it, but put something. When you're sending an email, do not use HTML inside the email. Why? Because when you're sending an email to your mom, to your friend, to your family, to your colleagues, working colleagues, you never put HTML. You don't put image. You can maybe use very basic HTML because it's a WYSIWYG. So you will jump the line. You will put an italic or a bold or something like this. But this is very, very simple. Spam filters will not say anything if you use this. But if you use a lot of image, spam filters, it's a criteria immediately to consider a mail as a spam. If you have image inside, the spam filter will consider it's high probability that it's a spam. Second thing, do not use CSS on your email. Why do not use CSS? Because not especially because of the spam filters, because most all, like you can clearly say all the mailbox will not read the CSS. Why? Because if they start to read the CSS will not affect just the mail, it will affect the entire system, the entire mailbox. So if you put a wrong CSS, you will destroy the page of Yahoo or Gmail or QQ. QQ don't want to look ugly because someone sent an email with a wrong CSS on it. So you will actually break the graphic of the mailbox. So they deactivate it. They do not accept CSS in the mail. So don't send any CSS. Do not use JavaScript. Why do not use JavaScript? It's because it's even worse. JavaScript is it's a motor. It's as I explained before, there is two kind of motor. There is the motor on the server and the motor on local. So if you send JavaScript, you're sending a motor on the browser, which means if the browser lets you execute the JavaScript like this, you can hack the browser. You can hack QQ, you can hack Gmail, you can hack Yahoo, you can hack Hotmail. You can just, with your JavaScript, you just say, okay, now I open the page to change the password, and I change the password and I get a new password. Or I open the page to transfer the mail, and I say immediately transfer the new everything on the new mailbox. When you receive the mail, you don't notice, and you have been hacked just by receiving an email. So all the mailbox refuse to execute JavaScript. They will delete the JavaScript. They will not allow you to use JavaScript. So don't put JavaScript. Another thing, when you're sending an email, the title of the email, you need to use a related title who fits with the guy who will receive it. For example, if you want to propose a partnership, don't say partnership. We're proposing a partnership with the company where you are, but you say partnership between the company of the guy and your company. So when the guy will read it, he will immediately see his company, so he will think, aha, that's a real email for real partnership with my company, and he will read it. He will pay attention on it. Or if you don't have the company name, but you have the domain name, use the domain name. It's perfect for partnership. It's perfect for this. If we don't see any link, if you want to sell, I don't know, perfume, for example, if you want to send perfume, and the guy is a doctor, it's quite hard to find something related to the perfume and the doctor. Try at least to put something like 50% discount on perfume delivery in the city where the doctor here. It's quite easy to collect the city with the IP address. It has been once on your website. You track his IP address. You know where he lives. So you can use the city, for example. At least he will feel a bit concerned. You need the guy to feel concerned that the email is related to him. It's not a spam that you have sent to 1 million people and you don't know them, and just bulk spam. The email should fit to the guy who read it, and he should think immediately, this is for me. The fact that Gmail has a very strong anti-spam filter, it's very hard to overpass the spam filters from Gmail. I would recommend you to, if you have a big list of email to contact, to use MailChimp to contact the Gmail mail, and you can use the other solution like Manjul or your PHP script for the other kind. But at least, if you use MailChimp to contact the Gmail accounts, the fact that MailChimp is owned by Gmail, you will reach them all the time, which is not the case with the other kind of platform. So I recommend you to use MailChimp just for the Gmail accounts. So I said before that you should not download from Infinity the website, because it's not the version with the system to check if the email is a good one or not, or probably not a wrong one. And there is not the SMTP system, so you should download it from crossborderstring.com/infinity.zip. because here we have added all the script inside. It's we have updated the system to have the system to check if the email is good or not, and to check and to use the SMTP platform. So you should use this one. So how to install Infinity Responder? You will need MySQL, so PHP-admin. You will need a cron table system to do some ping automatically every minute. The fact that you need a cron table, you cannot easily use EasyPHP. You need a dedicated, not dedicated, but you need a server. It could be a shared server or a dedicated one, but you need a server, online server, PHP server. If you still want to use EasyPHP, you can do it, but you will need to replace the cron table by the Windows scheduler tasks. So with Windows scheduler you can do it, but it's much easier to have your own online system. So I would more recommend you to have your own dedicated, your own server, dedicated or mutualized. So to install it, the first thing you need to do is to create a table, database called Infinity. So you use EasyPHP to create it. Actually, don't forget that when you will download Infinity, you will have the manual, the installation manual, so you can just read it. I will show you how to do it, but you have exactly the same information on the manual. First thing, you create the database with EasyPHP. After you unpack the Infinity Responder zip. After you need to edit the config.php, so you change database, you change the SMTP information from Mandrill. All of them you will get them from Mandrill. And if you use the SMTP system, you use SMTP active equal 1. Here it's 0, so it's not activated, so it would be PHP matter. But if you want to use your SMTP platform, you activate it and you put the SMTP information. So as I said previously, if you're using a server, a dedicated server with your website on it, technically you can use your server to send the email. But if you have even more than 10,000 emails to send, I don't recommend you to use your server to send, because we never know the hoster provider if he will accept it or not, or if he will not kill your server. He can stop the hosting anytime if you consider that you're doing some spam. GoDaddy will just stop your server and you will lose everything, for example. So GoDaddy, don't use GoDaddy to send email. And some others will be less aggressive. They will block your port 25, but your domain name will still be here. But so if you have your own dedicated server with your website on it, I don't recommend you to use this one to send email, because you are giving a big risk to your server. So I recommend you to create a Mandrill account or any SMTP account. So, and for this you will need on the PHP script to say global SMTP active equal 1. So the system know that you need he need to use the SMTP access to go there to send the email. Little tips: if you don't want to buy some credit in Mandrill, and you have if you don't want to buy credits, you can use this little technique, for example, to split your mail in different accounts. Here, for example, you can say you can create 2 or 3 or 4 different accounts on Mandrill, and with your 4 different accounts, you say you randomize the account, and sometimes it's account number 1, sometimes account number 2, sometimes account number 3. Here there's only 3 accounts, but you can split it, so you never take the same account when you're sending the email. This is the way to write it. Just round 0 2, so we'll take a number between 0 and 2, and if it's 0, then it's the account, this account. If it's number 1, it's this account. If it's the rest, it's this account, etc, etc. So it's randomized the accounts. And why I'm saying this, because Mandrill is giving 12,000 email for free. So 12,000 email is a lot. So with 12,000, if you create 3 accounts, it's 36,000 email for free. 36,000 email for free per month. It's a big number actually. If you create 4 accounts, etc, etc, 48,000. So it's quite easy to create a lot of email if you want. So here I just zoom on the code, so you can pause the video and read it and to understand it. It's quite easy. Like this, it's just zoom, so you can copy it on your own. Nothing special. So now let's create a Mandrill account. You will see that unfortunately when you will create a Mandrill account, when you will register, the system will say no, we cannot let you create the email account because you're in China, and Mandrill can't provide service for a new account in China because of Chinese policy. So if you just try like this, you will have some trouble. Yes, Mandrill refused to create new account in China. Do not panic, there is solution, don't worry. So what solution? There is 2 solutions to create a Mandrill account. Actually, it's just when you create the account that they will send you this message. After, they don't send you again. You can use Mandrill from China, they won't say anything. It's just when you create the account that they say no, you cannot create a new account. But if your account is created, it's no problem anymore. So the first solution is you can ask to anyone who is outside China to create the account for you. I will create it, and after you can use it. Very simple. Second solution, you need a VPN. If you do not have a VPN, this is here you can find a link to download the VPN Frigate. So it's tutorfacile.com/cached/frgt.zip, and the password is the Papa Noel. It's a French word, Papa Noel. One thing very important, really extremely important, is when you are using a VPN, close FileZilla, close any application related to your website. Never have any thing related to your website when you are using a VPN. Why? It's because if you're using a SSH or a FileZilla or port 10,000 encrypted to go to the webmin, for example, the Chinese Great Firewall will see that you are going on an encrypted connection somewhere, encrypted, or you're using a FTP connection behind a firewall from China. They will consider this is probably, there's a high chance that it's a hacker who want to hack, I don't know what, they want to hide something from Chinese government, and they are doing something nasty. So they will shut you down, and they will shut your website down, and they will just your website will be shut down, and as a Chinese company, if the Chinese website is dead in China, you're dead. So pay really attention to never have FileZilla open or SSH or anything related to your website when you have Frigate open. So what I will recommend you is you can download Frigate here, or you can ask to a foreigner to do it. Ask to a foreigner to create an account, or download Frigate from this link, execute it, create the account on Frigate with this, and close Frigate and never come back on it. It's really dangerous for your website. I'm telling you this because it happened For me and my client, it happened several times that the website was killed, and shit, how to do? Finally found how to solve it, but it's big trouble for the Chinese company when the website died because of something as stupid as this. So if you do a mistake here, you can kill your company, so do not pay attention. So as I say, remember that the China policy forbids you to change your IP address. It's forbidden to use a VPN. You will not go to jail because you have changed your IP address. But if you change the IP address on the same time that you're connected to your website with FileZilla or SSH or your webmin or anything, you risk to blacklist your website in China, which is really not what you want. Even if your target is not a Chinese company, even if you want to sell it in foreign markets, and if you don't care about Chinese company to buy your product, even if it's like this, it's still a problem because you won't be able to update your website, you won't be able to go on your website, you won't be able to see if you have any sales. So do not use a VPN when you're connected to your website. So you have downloaded FreeGate, and you have closed FileZilla, you have closed SSH, you have closed everything related to your website. So you have been able to create an account on mansmail.com, and here you are. It works. You have been able to create your account. Your account is created. Now you just need to take the SMTP information. So here you will get the SMTP host, the port, the SMTP user, and for the SMTP's password you need to click on add API key, and you will get it immediately. You should pay attention to one thing: is for new user you can only send 250 email per hours, just 250. So and you can send 12,000 email per month. Don't worry, if you take a credit to send 100,000 email, you will not have this restriction. You will be able to send as many email as you want. Don't send to 100,000 in 1 hour. Send them still by pack of 5,000, 10,000, but not 100,000 in 1 hour. It will be too much. You will be blacklisted immediately. One other thing: if you use the free accounts and you create, for example, 3 different accounts or 4 different accounts, it's immediately multiplied by the number of accounts that you have, the limit. So a free account you will have 250 multiplied by 3, and it will be 750. So like this you can send much more. It's a solution. On this platform I will recommend you to buy credit because it's very cheap. So and at least you are not risking to be banished one day for just $17 for 100,000. It's very cheap. Okay, let's consider that you want to create different accounts. So when you want to create different accounts, what you have to do is you have to change your IP address. So with FreeGate you select server A, server B, server C, server D, server E. You can change your IP address all the time, and each time that you change your IP address you need to delete the cookies. So with iMacro you can delete the cookies very easily. So you create an account, you change the IP address, you go on iMacro, you go on delete cookies, you create the account, and etc, etc, etc. Change the IP, delete the cookies. Change the IP, delete the cookie. Change the IP, delete the cookie. Like this, they have no way to track you down. To track down the bounce email, the email who doesn't exist, the email who the hard bounce or soft bounce, which means you send an email and the server doesn't exist, or the server exists but he said yes, but there is no one who replied to this name. To track this down, you need to go in the sending option and ask for the forward bounce notification to this email, and you put a new email just like bounce@yourdomainname.com, and like this, each time that you will have a bounce, it will arrive in this email. So you will just need to check on this email after with Infinity, and Infinity will clean down everything. Normally, you should need to update your SPF on the DNS to say that this server or this IP address is allowed to send email under your name. Here with Mandrill, it's not useful because actually Mandrill will not send an email from your email. He will send email from mandrillapps.com, and on the email that he will send, he will put the reply system to reply to your email. But it's not you who send, it's Mandrill who will send. So the fact that Mandrill will send, you don't need to change the SPF. For other account, it will be different. You can say, I don't want mandrillapps.com to send, I want my email to send. In that case, you replace the SPF and you say here that it's not Mandrill to send, but your email, your domain name to send, and it will work. But if you let the default configuration, it's okay, you don't need to do it. If you're sending your email without Mandrill, if you're sending with your dedicated IP address from a server or from another SMTP platform, or even with Mandrill, but you say not with mandrillapps.com domain name, but from my domain name, you will need to update your SPF in the DNS. You probably don't know how to do this. It's a bit technical. One thing to know is, don't worry, there is a lot of SPF generator online, so you just type SPF generator on any search engine, and you will find a lot of different solutions who will do it for you. I'm just reminding you to turn off FreeGate. Do not stay on FreeGate after that you have created your account and update the Mandrill account. Do not stay on FreeGate. It's very dangerous for your website. So now that the file config.php is updated with your PHP, with your MySQL access and your SMTP access, if you're using SMTP, you just need to upload the entire directory on your server with FileZilla. So now that you have uploaded everything, you just need to install it. So you go on the file admin.php. Here you fulfill everything. The only thing is seed code, let it empty. You don't have seed code. If you seed code is something that you can buy to have assistance. You can take assistance from the owner of Infinity, but it's not necessary. You can do it on your own, or you can have it if you want, but it's not necessary. So here you can see that Infinity is working. It worked, no problem. To be fully operational, we generally create the email, the sequence, but regardless of this, to be fully operational, we need to set up the cron table to automatically ping the send mail script. So for this, you need a cron tab server. If you have your own dedicated server and you check in the webmin, you will find it. I cannot show how it is because I will show you how it is on my server, but I cannot show it on every server because it's different all server. But if you don't know how to use it, or if you don't have a dedicated server, or if you have a shared server that do it but you don't know how to use it, don't forget that there is plenty of online cron table tools, just like for example onlinecrontab.com, webcron.org, or there's plenty of server. Type crontab, online crontab on Baidu, on Yahoo, you will have plenty of them. It's you will have done in 10 minutes after. It's very easy. So this is our dedicated server with the crontab system. You will have your own system. Each system has each company, provider company for dedicated server has its own system. So here, what you need to understand is you have to give SSH query, which is here wget and the URL crossbordertraining.com/infinitydev/sendmail.php, and after you have to say I want to do it here as every hours. Okay, every hours, but you can say every minute, every you can do the rules that you want, and the system will automatically do it. Very simple. So the first step will be how to create an auto bouncer checker. Normally, to reduce the risk to be filtered by anti-spam filter, you need to filter to check the bounce. So each time that you send an email, you check if the email has been received or not, and if it hasn't been received because the email address doesn't exist, you need to remove the email address from your database. Else, next time when you will send it again, you will do a lot of bounce again, and the anti-spam filter will not appreciate. So at the end, they will blacklist you because of this. This is not absolutely true, because actually Mandrill is doing exactly the same thing for you, because you're using Mandrill. So when you're sending an email from Mandrill know if the email is wrong, and Mandrill, if you ask again to send the email, Mandrill will say no, I don't want to send. I will say I send it, but actually he will not have sent it because you said he know that the email doesn't exist. So it's not really important to do it. It's not super important, but still it's important. But first, if you don't do it, you will have to stay on Mandrill all the time, because Mandrill will do it for you. But if you change platform, the new platform will not know it. And second, if you don't do it, you will not know which email are wrong, doesn't exist. So you will contact them all the time, and it's true that Mandrill will block them, will not send it, but he will consider the mail as a credit used, which is not the case. You couldn't send the email because Mandrill will block it because the email doesn't exist, but you will lose your credit for nothing. If you're using a dedicated server, you have to do it. It's very important, else you will be filtered by anti-spam filter very fast. So here, for example, you start a campaign. Here is your computer. You send the first email, so you will send with your server or your SMTP router 100,000 email. Ta-da! So you send 100,000 email, and on the 100,000 there is 20,000 wrong email. Can happen. Can happen because you have collected the email on Ethernet, but the email are old, they are unupdated. So a lot of them are wrong. So the mail server like QQ or Gmail or Yahoo or any mail server will inform you that the email doesn't exist. So you would have the return, but all this server will know that 20%. You have 20% of bounce rate. You have 20% of the email or bounce or wrong. So at that time, you have a very high risk to be filtered by anti-spam solution. So at this day, your first email, a lot of them will maybe be filtered by anti-spam solution, which is bad. but it's the first email. You didn't really have the choice. Actually, you have cleaned already a lot because you have removed all those who seem wrong, or all those who doesn't exist, or definitely, or the domain name doesn't exist, or it's clear that it's wrong. But those who are still wrong will maybe banish you this day, the first day. Your computer received the 20,000 wrong email, and automatically he remove it from the database. So you have less email, but you have only good. So 10 days later, when you want to do a new campaign, you have 80,000 email. Yes, you have removed 20,000 of wrong email. You send a new email with 80,000 email. The server huge email, Yahoo, any of them receive them. There is no bounce. Yes, you have treated all the bounce already, so it's perfectly clean. And the anti-spam solution, who use a lot the bounce system, will consider that this time it's clean, so he will maybe banish you for other reason. There is plenty of criteria, but not for your bounce rate, at least. So you will not be banished. So So how to check the bounce? On the Infinity Responder, you have the button bouncer. You click on it. And you will have to create a new bounce rule, so add a bouncer. Here you have the create a bouncer. You give the email address of your bounce where you have redirect all your bounce, the username, the host, the mailbox, which is the inbox, like normal. Enable the password, the port of your server. Normally your provider would have given it to you, but most of the time it's 110 and you say that you want to opening the POP3. And done. Now all your bounds will automatically be removed from your database. So all of this is nice, but how to collect the information about the password or the port or the information that we just give to the bouncer? This you will find on your administrative tool, the webmail of your server. If it's not on it, your domain name provider will give it to you somewhere. Here is on postfix, the administration of postfix. So on postfix, you just click on add mailbox. Have it. You create the name, the password, the password you type it 2 times, the quota active, and that's all. So why we need to create a new mailbox? Do you remember when we were installing Mandrill, they asked us to transfer all the bounds on a specific email address, who was bounds at cross-border trading. So Mandrill is transferring everything on this email address, so we need to create the email address, else Mandrill will send something to a place which doesn't exist. So we just create it, and let's create an optic responder. What is an optic responder? Opt-in responder. An opt-in responder is when you want to create a clean database with only people who say, "Hey, I want you to contact me. I'm interested by your product. Please contact me." So it's a very good database, but usually it's a very small database. There is not a lot of people who say, "Please contact me," but because this is what normally you have to do when you are not collecting the database on internet, when you're not harvesting the yellow pages. Actually, it's not very important. It's not something very useful when you have already harvested 100,000 of prospects from internet, from the different yellow page or from different partnership that you can find on internet. But if you didn't, you will need to create your clean database, opt-in database we call it, where you will need to generate a form on your website to say, if you're interested by a newsletter, please let your email, and people let their email, and you will be able to contact them automatically. So on Infinity, you can go, you go on add a responder, you create If you create the first responder with the name, the owner email, reply, a little description. So you say it's the newsletter to be in touch with, blah blah blah. Give the information you want the user to see. So after you write the confirmation page, so it's when the person would have gave you his email and his name and all the detail. So you can say thank you for registering to our newsletter. You can already start by reading our mails, blah 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 blah. Some little things with the same version in HTML, and it's done. So now you will have to generate the newsletter form for the visitors who are on your website, so they can register themselves to your opt-in newsletter. So for this, you select it, you select the campaign you just create, you go click on, and you will automatically get the code generated. And here you have the form that we can see with the name, first name, last name, email address, if I want to receive an HTML mail or not. So you just need to paste this form in HTML in your HTML in your website, wherever you want, where you want to put the newsletter form, and it will work automatically. It will be redirect to if someone fill it, to be redirect to this form, and it will work. So just need to paste it on the web. So add your harvested database. How to add the database that you have harvested from the yellow page, from anywhere, to Infinity. So here you are on Infinity. You can use add user or edit user, but it's not very useful because it's one by one. If you want to add 10 guides, it's okay, you can use these tools, but one by one you will not insert 200,000 emails. It will be really too long. So you cannot use this. You will have to use the bulk add. Use bulk add. You see here? So here you have the bulk add function. You can say yes HTML, and in the classic Infinity system, you have John Doe, or you can put the email one by one. But it's okay if you want to do a mass bulk email, but it's a very bad idea. I don't recommend you to put the email one by one with a comma between each, because you cannot customize. You cannot say hello Nicolas, I found you on this website, and can I call you on this phone number. That's a problem. But I have updated the script, so you can put the list like this: John Doe for an email address, pipe first name, pipe last name, pipe phone number, and you can add 3 other field. Would be field 1, field 2, field 3. So you can customize 3 information for this list on top of the first name, last name, and phone number. So you can put the domain name, you can put the product. They are selling this kind of product. So hello Nicolas, would you if you want to sell the product, the pen, he's selling pens, for example, you can find this, you can have help on blah 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 blah. You can customize like this. So here it's very important to customize your field. So as I said, solution 1, you can put all with a comma between. It's really not what the one I recommend is like this: one email, pipe first name, pipe last name, pipe phone, pipe, and you can put 3 different fields that you can customize as you want. Hello Nicolas, I saw your domain name solarpanel.com. Do you still work for Solaris, the company name? So field 1 will be domain name, field 2 will be Solaris. And, can I call you at 0023456788910, which is the phone? And you can customize the entire database like this. When you will send this, automatically the system will check if the email is valid or not. The one I recommend is like this: one email, pipe first name, pipe last name, pipe phone, pipe, and you can put 3 different fields that you can customize as you want. Hello Nicolas, I saw your domain name solarpanel.com. Do you still work for Solaris, the company name? So field 1 will be domain name, field 2 will be Solaris. And, can I call you at 0023456788910, which is the phone? And you can customize the entire database like this. When you will send this, automatically the system will check if the email is valid or not. So create the mail sequence now. Very important. You will have a big database. Now you have to create the email sequence to send automatically the first day of this email, the second day of this email, the third day of this email, the 4th, 5th, etc., etc. So you go on edit a responder. Here you have the responder that you have already created, which was just a presentation. it's not the sequence. You can add, so you can select the campaign. Here you have selected the campaign. You go under, and here you have add a new message. So you add the new message. Hello, first name. How was your Gone Fair? You know that the guy was in Gone Fair. You collect the database from Gone Fair. Hello, first name. I hope your Gone Fair session has been great. My name is Alban Loriot. I'm Chinese Association Advisor, and etc. etc. You can put. So here you can see on the HTML version there is. We can see that there is http://crossbordertraining.com/b2b- yes. Some variables I couldn't create field 1, field 2, field 3, but I used some variables who already exist, who were called income, for example. So here the tracker is called income, but actually the tracker is the field 1 or 2, I don't remember. So like this you can customize entirely your mail. Yes, you need to have a friendly subject. Hello, the first name. How was your Gone Fair? It's friendly, and it's especially dedicated to the guy who received it. The guy was in Gone Fair. He received a mail about calling his name and how was your Gone Fair. He will read the email. He will not delete it. He will not click on spam. He will definitely read the email. So here you call him by his first name, and you put a tracker to get his IP address, to know who he is when he come back, and yes, to track him all the time. You can let the unsubscription link, or you can remove it. Normally you have to let it normally, but if you want to look really very friendly email and it doesn't look like a spam, you can remove it. And according to the law, at least the French law, I think it's the same for international law, if you don't put it, the guy who wants to be removed need to say, please remove me from your list, and here you remove it. If you let the link, he will automatically remove it. But if you don't put the link, at least he will think that it's not a spam, it's a real email. On the first one, it's quite good. So here on the top right corner you have the tag reference. It's very important for you to read it, to know exactly which are the tags, how to use them. So here is the page about the tag reference. So I let the tags are in red, or those that you can use. It's the tag that you can use if you have used the system to import from the database. All the others, it's if you have filled them one by one on your system, which is very long. So all the white, don't use them. The red, use them automatically, yes. So here you can see that the field 1 is called CF reason, the field 2 is CF income, the field 3 is CF interest. And it's like this that you can use all of them. CF home phone, you can use it. CM sub email, sub first name, sub last name, all of them are tags that you can use. You can also put some tags about the day tomorrow. For the example, when you will say that the promotion is finishing in 2 days, you say the promotion is, you use a tag to say in 2 days. Automatically, or you say the date, it will be next Thursday. Stuk. Automatically, no problem. So don't remember that field 1, field 2, field 3, you cannot call them field 1, field 2, field 3. The system will not understand it. Originally the system was not created to understand field 1, field 2, field 3, but I found it was stupid, completely stupid, to not understand field 1, field 2, field 3. And but the system was done to use reason, income and interest. Consider that field 1, field 2, field 3 is more useful than reason, income and interest. So I switch them, and now I use reason, income and interest as field 1, field 2, field 3. So it's what I recommend you to use, so you can put whatever you want inside. Once you have done this, you can put the schedule sequence. Here is the first one. It's the first email. So the first email, you can let everything at 0 because it's just the first one. Yeah, there's nothing before. So you save and it's added. So now that you have created the first message, you can create all the sequence. So the first, the second, the third. Here you click on add a new message and you can create as many messages you want. So the first one is the presentation of the product. It's what I explained 10 slides before, 20 slides before. The sequence, the first the presentation, the second is it's a GUID, the third is a video, the fourth is a discount, the fifth is the end of the discount, etc, etc, etc. So do you remember the behavior segmentation? Yes, this is the behavior segmentation. If someone go and visit your website several times on a specific product, then you have to contact him later to talk about it. So what I will explain a bit before. So how to do this? You need to create a new responder. So here it's a new responder. You create it where you just said it's for the behavior segmentation, and you add it. You don't need to put anything inside because people, you will not put this online. It will be fully automatized. So now that you have it, you will have to go on your online shop, which is OS Commerce or PrestaShop. So first you edit it. Here you are. Here you create the new message with hello, the first name, I am Alban from your domain name, which is your shop. I just check your historic visit form on the website. So just like I was checking the website and I saw that you were interested by this product. Yes, because I'm monitoring very often my website actually, and it's fully automatic. It's not you who is doing this. But when the guy will receive it, he will think that you were really checking your website, you were really checking you were monitoring your website, and you see that he was interested by the specific product. So you want to give him 5% of discounts for this product with the coupon discount, for example. And here you put the generic coupon reference to buy on the domain name, and you create the second message 5 days after to say that it will be finishing soon. So add new message. Hello, your 5% discount for this product will finish at date tomorrow. So tomorrow, you see, it will finish tomorrow. So you have to buy it now. Very important. Buy it now. And here you squeeze it a bit to say you have to buy it now. You have to buy it now. You will lose your 5% discount. You can put the discount you want, but 5% is okay normally. So you say here at the bottom, you say I want it 5 days after. You can see the minutes, the weeks, the days, the hour. So 5 days after. So how to install it? How to install it in your online shop? So let's consider that you are using PrestaShop. If you are using PrestaShop, you can go on www.crossbordertraining.com/index. That's for the index file. So index_prestashop.html. Like this, you will on this you will see the source code of what you have to add in index.php from PrestaShop. So this is PrestaShop, and automatically when someone will be on a special product, if you see 3 times the same product, if you consult 3 times the same page, automatically we will know that he's interested by this product, even if he consulted in different days. It's even better actually, because it really means that he's interested. Automatically the system will recognize it and put it in the system to automatically send him an email. We'll go deep in the code in the next slide on West Commerce. So this is for West Commerce. If you're using West Commerce, you need to download the source code on www.crossbordertraining.com/product_info.html, and here this is the code. It's the same for the PrestaShop code. Here you will have the autoresponder number. So you put the good number. I don't know which number will it be for you, but you put the good reference, so it will directly go to the good sequence. And you put the database of the name of the database where you have the autoresponder, and you just launch it, and it will work on his own for West Commerce. So it's exactly the same principle for PrestaShop. And this is West Commerce, if you have forgotten how it is.